These fans, great race fans here. They've been waiting for this race, big autograph session this afternoon. Now they want to see the superstars do it on the dirt. Here we go, green flag for heat race number 1 at Knoxville. Stewart in the orange and Andretti in the black on the front row through turn 2.
Oh, you can see that. You can see how the cars pick up that berm. They're looking for grip, looking for turn. It's funny when you hear drivers that race on dirt talk to you, even in pavement racing. Like Tony Stewart has talked to me about this many times over the years. They use such different terminology. I think they're maybe get in the mud. I think that's what Tony would say, getting down to the bottom, get in the mud.
Marco Andretti, that was at the drop of the green flag. He was sideways and trying to keep it off the guardrail. Back around 5th place, got a big knot of cars. There's Brian Brown, the local track hero in the red, white, and blue car. Bill Elliott behind him. Then Paul Tracy, who moved up from 11th on the grid. And remember, your starting order for Heat 2, the invert of the finish of this one, and your average of the two is going to be where you start the main event. So Paul's got a lot to gain by going forward in this heat.
And he has. He said he was going to follow Bloomquist, but Bloomquist is way behind him. But what I'm seeing is Brian Brown, who, you know, you think could be pushing his way through. They're stacked up behind him. I think all the cars are quicker. Bill Elliott's been on his tail the whole time, really pushing him. And now Paul Tracy, you know, Paul can push it. Paul is a driver that tends to err on the side of overdrive, I might say. So I think they get to change the rear tires for the feature, but you know, he's using them up right now. So I say go for it. You know, all these things are good points, and it's tough to pass.
Tracy is going forward, and Deegan continues to stalk Stewart for the lead. Brian Brown, you know, unlike last week where Doug Colby was driving at a track where he had so many laps on in a car that he wasn't as familiar with, this car might as well be from another planet for Brian Brown compared to the sprint car that he runs here on a weekly basis. We'll show you more about that a little bit later. On board here with Paul Tracy, moving forward in the green car, the lime green machine.
So much work on the wheel. I think people don't understand just how much is going on just inside of the cockpit. With every turn of the hands, there's something going on with the feet too. They're pedaling, they're trying to find the grip, they're trying to not overdrive the tire. It's quite an orchestra inside the cockpit. If I had to actually think about all the things that were going on inside the cockpit that I was doing, I'd be overwhelmed.
Sounds complicated, yes. Hailie Deegan put a lot of pressure on Tony Stewart for the lead in this first of our 2 heat races. Tony going to move up the track. Deegan going to look down low. Nothing doing there off turn 2. Back live on Superstar Saturday night. Yellow flag out in heat race number 1 here at Knoxville Raceway in Iowa. So Paul Tracy, we talked about him doing so well earlier. He's bounced it off the wall a couple of times.
Oh, is he pushing it too much out there?
That is what brought out the yellow flag.
You know, he could have just gotten that right rear hot. I mean, that's you know, this is one of those things that happens when you slide around too much. Another thing that's interesting about these cars is that, you know, when you lift, you don't always slow down or perhaps go left. Sometimes it wants to pull right because it's set up so uniquely and dramatically to get the car to be able to slide through the corner. I'm speaking from experience when I say it went right instead of left when I lifted, and there was maybe some crash damage.
Yeah. In your brief experience racing dirt at Eldora, in the Boston's charity race,
That's right.
All right, so we're getting ready to go here. You see the clock down to 2 minutes to go in this heat race number 1. Stewart orange inside, Deegan magenta outside, green flag.
Marco's looking all right on these restarts. I wonder if the car starts off being strong and then maybe perhaps gets too tight or gets too loose on him. But at the beginning of the race, he looked pretty good. And here he is passing Hailie for second. So we'll see if he's got something for Tony. I think as you see Paul get free of Brown finally, he's in 5th now. I think he's gonna make a run here at 4th, and we'll see if he has enough time to get by Francis Jr. But I think he was really strong when he was running back there behind Brown. So
here goes Marco Andretti inside of Tony Stewart for the race lead. He nudged him off of turn number 2 to make a little lane for himself. Tony with that top lane run to hang on. And the white flag is out. We're in the last lap of heat number 1. Stewart orange, Andretti black. Here comes Deegan in the magenta car.
Marco.
Yeah, not going to be enough to catch Tony Stewart. So, checkered flag in heat number 1 tonight. Oh, spin off turn 4.
Kept it off the wall.
Into the outside. Kept it off the wall. Yeah, Michael Waltrip got a little nudge from behind and spun it around.
Ooh.
Is that Elio?
Brown.
Brian Brown, okay.
Pirouette, no crash damage.
And somehow, remarkably, we went through that entire heat with no crash damage. 23 laps in. Tony Stewart started on pole, led all the laps, but it wasn't easy. Pressured a good deal of the way, and our Wheels Up Heat Race 1 winner, Tony Stewart, will invert the field and set him up for heat number 2 next. So let's talk to the winner of heat 1. Let's dial up Tony Stewart, Danica.
Let's do it. Smoke, this is Danica. You got me?
I got you, D.
So, congrats on the win in the first heat. Now, you had some people breathing down your neck. Were you in control of that pace, or were you feeling the pressure?
Well, Haley for sure is, she knows how to do this. She won a K&N race at Vegas, so she knows how to run these heavy cars on dirt. Just trying to get the lead initially, and then trying to take care of the tires here to, make sure we run 2 full heats on them and try to keep her slipping it as much as possible. So now we get to do the hard work and come from the back here. So see if we can take care of it and get back up there again.
Copy that. Fun to watch. Good luck.
All right, Tony Stewart now lined up for this one last for the start of heat number 2 since he won heat number 1.
Which will be fun to watch.
It will be a lot of fun to watch. Front row, Michael Waltrip and Willie T. Ribbs, although some cars did pit under the brake. We'll talk about that in a minute. First, the green flag is out for heat number 2. One in the wall right away. Paul Tracy bounced it off turn 4.
Saw that coming down the front straightaway. You can always leave it up to Paul Tracy to push it, though. Love watching. It's fun to watch.
Hard charging has never been something he's been afraid of.
No.
Michael Waltrip up out of the bottom line. Coming through underneath him for the race lead is Elio Castroneves.
I find it super impressive how adaptable Elio is in all these conditions with a different car, now on dirt. I mean, and he just won his 4th Indy 500. He's truly talented.
Here's the green flag on the second heat.
And that's the same spot that he caught the wall in the first heat.
What's that telling you? He's gassing it up hard.
He's looking at the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure he's giving it all he can. I mean, it's a start, and for guys like Paul Tracy and a few others who are known for their restarts and known for their starts, like that's an area where, a guy like him goes for it.
Now, Tony Stewart has already moved up to 6th position. He's working on Brian Brown for 5th place as he tries to gain advantage for the main event. There's Stewart in the orange car. Paul Tracy slides up in front of him.
He's been running the high line. I've been watching him. He's been going around the outside of everybody. So if there's anybody that is going to, have the most experience knowing where to find the grip, it's Tony. That's one of those things about dirt drivers that's so unique, is their ability to find the grip all over the track. And so they've learned it in dirt racing, but trust me, they can still do the same thing on pavement.
Yeah, you bet. Elio Castroneves leading heat number 2 as we come to the midway point, and the caution flag will wave in our second heat race. Castroneves with the ringer Scott Bloomquist behind him, and Michael Waltrip running 3rd as we hit the yellow flag. Camping World SRX Series live at Knoxville Raceway in Iowa on this very steamy Saturday night. Get ready for the restart in the second of our 2 heat races tonight. Elio Castroneves is the leader. Scott Bloomquist, winner of over 600 dirt late model races, to his outside in the gold car. Green flag.
Elio got on the throttle, a little sideways on the start, allowed Bloomquist to get by him, and now PT. He's come from the back like a champ.
And defending spots now up front to help his starting position for the main event. One of the changes made to the format for this week. Starting position for the main event is based on the average finish in the 2 heat races. Scott Bloomquist lit it up and went in that gold car on the restart.
Did PT get the wall again on the front straightaway? Possibly.
How about 3 wide for 3rd place? Oh, there's Tracy up in the marbles. That's going to cost him. Now, Paul had a tough night at Stafford a week ago when his car got damaged early on, and he kind of soldiered around the rest of the evening. Just lost a bunch of positions there.
That's frustrating. These are well-earned positions when you get by cars out here. Since everybody's running on the bottom, there's really none of these slide jobs happening that I was alluding to. So, you know, to be up there at the front, be running and vying for 2nd place from starting in the back, you know, it's pretty frustrating to lose. What did he lose? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spots.
Yeah.
So he was probably going to be pretty close to having a front row start.
Yep, was going to be, being the operative term, past tense.
Oh, spin out of 4.
And one into the outside wall. That is Paul Tracy. And the caution flag is out with less than a minute to go in this 2nd heat.
It's getting from bad to worse for PT out here.
Yeah. Now the question is, how much is the damage to that?
That's pretty bad. The right front bodywork is hiked up pretty bad. It looks like it might be pretty close to cutting into that right front tire too. They're gonna have to pull it out. Might even have to cut some of it. What happened here? Just spun.
Gassed her up off turn 4 and away it went.
He's running up pretty high. The groove is moving up a little bit. There's definitely, we can see it in the 2nd heat, people, you know, making their passes around the outside. So he's just pushing it, getting up a little bit higher, getting on the throttle a little bit harder. Probably a little bit frustrated from losing all those spots, but look at that, hand over fist, grab and wheel. Here we go. Oh. To do with green white checker coming up.
Yeah, well,
I think he gassed it up.
He's not been afraid to gas it up, but I think he's about used up the right side of that car in these 2 heat races. And the SRX crew will have a little work to do to get Paul shaped up for the main event. So we're through the time clock in our 2nd heat race, so we go to a green-white checker finish. So it's Scott Bloomquist and Elio Castroneves in row 1, Ernie Francis Jr. and Michael Waltrip in row 2, and watch out for Hailie Deegan and Tony Stewart in row 3. Green flag, 2 laps to go.
Looks like he's having a little bit of trouble putting the power down. He got a little sideways in the middle of 1 and 2. Gave just enough room for Elio to get a little run, but he knows what he's doing out here. He's sliding up, making it hard on Elio. And look at that, Francis Jr., he's been strong. He ran pretty well in the 1st heat too for having very little experience. Ernie Francis Jr. is doing a really good job. Running 2nd now.
Spin behind the pack, log jam for 3rd place. Michael Waltrip through, Castroneves shoved out of the way. Paul Tracy spun behind everything, did a 360, kept going. Here they come to the checkered flag of heat race number 2. Scott Bloomquist from Tennessee is going to take the checkered flag. It'll be Francis in 2nd, Michael Waltrip in 3rd, Tony Stewart edges Hailie Deegan for 4th. Michael Waltrip put the fastest lap in that race in. Scott Bloomquist, a 2-time late model national champion here at Knoxville. They hold the nationals for the late models as well. So he knows his way to victory lane here at this place. And the 57-year-old from Tennessee, who's got his own terrific story of recovery and return to racing. has got a checkered flag in the SRX Series. Well, that was an eventful heat race, wasn't it?
I like that. That was good.
Can't wait to see what the main event brings. And our progressive race analysis tonight, we're going 50 laps with caution flags not counting. And we'll get as many attempts at a green-white checker finish as we need to decide this one. So Stewart and Bloomquist with the heat race wins. Hailie Deegan putting herself quite well for our start. And here we go for main event number 2 on our Superstar Racing Experience Camping World Series. Green flag at Knoxville.
Hailie getting a little sideways on the bottom, losing a little bit of momentum, but she's got the bottom guarded, so it's going to make it a little tough on Bill Elliott. Whoa.
Elliott in the purple car defending that position, now looking for some running room up underneath Deegan off of turn number 4. Stewart leads lap 1, Francis and Bloomquist second. Elliott in the purple car inside of Deegan as Marco Andretti goes for a wide slide in turn 2. That's a great look. It's out of Hailie Deegan's car with Bill Elliott in the purple machine trying to find some racing room.
Bill got underneath her, and you can just see what that higher line does for momentum. I think we're going to see cars run up a little higher in the race. I hope so anyway. That always makes it more interesting. That's when we're going to start to see those slide jobs come in. When people start to be able to run high and low, then people are going to get a run off the corner, and then they're going to be able to dive bomb them, and then we're going to have even more fun out here and probably more battles.
Elliott,
more frustrated drivers.
Elliott finally completes that pass for 4th place, and now Scott Bloomquist in the gold car, looking underneath Ernie Francis Jr. in the yellow car for 2nd.
I thought Scott was really smart and just saying he was taking it easy and making sure that he didn't do anything silly at this point in time, but I mean, he's running strong now.
You said you wanted a slide job?
I want a slide job.
He just showed you one right there. Ran in on the bottom side. Caution for debris. Apparently a couple of cars have bounced off each other. And someone has left something behind. Well, we can't have that. So Johnny Benson will wheel the SRX Series 34 Ford pace car out in front of the field, and we'll get yellow flag number 1 of our feature event. There's JB. Oh, there it is. I'm willing to venture out on a limb that won't be the last piece of body work we see laying on the racetrack by the time we're done with our main event. Paul Tracy's car, pretty battered and beaten. That's pretty good.
That outside front straight wall has owned him. Yes. Just owned him. I mean, his car.
And since they were picking up all the debris
it looked
down
like they're
the front
pushing
stretch,
that car back out of the way.
That would be a pretty good indicator that that's where it came from. Doesn't look like Paul's going to be able to continue in the main event. Pace car's off.
Oh.
We are about to go racing. Bill Elliott just pulled up out of line in turn 4 as the green flag waves and the field goes off to turn 1. Elliott coasting slowly inside 1 and 2 as the field steams off at the other end of the racetrack. Scott Bloomquist in the gold car looking underneath Tony Stewart in the orange car for the race lead. Here's for the lead, Bloomquist underneath Stewart.
Got a bunch of side-by-sides. 1st and 2nd, 4th and 5th, 6th and 7th, spin in 3 and 4. That looks like Brian Brown.
And someone up the racetrack into the outside wall was Castro Neves trying to avoid the accident. And Elio is going to go straight to the pit lane with big damage to the right front of his car. So caution number 2. And you see the right front damage on the Castro Neves machine.
Right front looks locked up. Bodywork's gotten into it.
Suspension broken. Okay, let's have a look. This is Brian Brown's on board.
Just got in a little hot. You know, you saw him use up Marco, another car getting used up, but he just couldn't hold on to it. He bumped him a little bit, but it just kept coming around on him. Well, that looked pretty easy for Tony. Just right down the front straightaway in front of him, you know.
Timing is everything.
Yeah, And I think that's widening out and getting grip higher up the track.
Waltrip to the inside of Francis. The blue car advances, slides up a little bit. Can Francis come back in the yellow machine? Nice pass, Michael Waltrip. Now Francis and Haley Deegan for 4th place. Deegan subbing for Tony Kanaan, whose commitments to his racing in his native Brazil took him away this weekend. TK will back spin, turn 3. That's Brian Brown. 3 wide in turn 4 as the yellow flag comes out. They'll have to calm that down.
Looked like we were about to have another spin.
Yeah.
You know, Marco is, Marco, and who's that? Ernie Francis Jr.? Okay, all right, let's see this one play out. That was frustration. I mean, that happens, you know, when it goes caution, you're a little heated. You're like, hey, buddy, I see you. You feel me? This is another one that's going to play out.
All right, let's go back and show you the reason for the yellow flag. Here's Brown. Just got tagged together with Willie T. Ribbs. And around he went.
He needed more of that car on the outside to lean into. He only had one corner of it, so it helped him spin.
Oh, you saw Willie chasing it. You see the left front tire of Willie's car. He was chasing it, coming up off the corner. Well, maybe that's the reason he was chasing it. Got tagged first.
Yeah, he did.
All right, well, I'd say no harm, no foul. Everybody's continued in the race. Whether some felt they were fouled or not, I guess we'll have to find out. We're doubled up for the restart. Off turn 4. This time Stewart on the inside and Bloomquist on the outside.
Still gets it, but I think that there's the outside lane.
Wow, look at Deegan go.
Look at that, coming up the outside, right on the outside of Tony. Got to run on him down the back straightaway.
Spin at the back of the pack. Willie T. Ribbs, will he keep it going? Will we stay under green?
Nope.
He's trying, but the yellow flag's going to have to come out.
What happened there?
Well, spun out. That I can say for sure. After that, why he wasn't able to get going, that I can't answer.
If he got tapped from behind it all. It looked like he really was going straight in the middle of the corner. We've got an onboard here to be able to see if maybe that was the case.
Might be able to hear it too. Just pushed up and bounced off the side of Castroneves. Bloomquist in gold, Stewart in orange. Green flag from the starter's stand. Here we go again.
Oh, slippery up high, slippery.
What a save.
You can hear the crowd from inside here.
Now Deegan to the outside of Stewart, and Waltrip looking down low for the race lead. Bloomquist all the way back to 8th place. You know, I know we got a car way wide in 3 and 4. That's Castroneves, kept it off the wall. We stay under the green flag.
Getting exciting up at the front. Let's have a look at how everything's been going down here.
This is the save from Bloomquist.
2 narrow lanes of grip, but if you get up just a little bit too high, it looks like everybody's having a problem and getting a little over rotated there. You want to be sideways, just leave that sideways. This is on board from Bloomquist. See, just gets, it's dusty. It looks dusty up there. That's not mud. There's no grip up there. That just looks like loose dirt.
Michael Waltrip all over the back of Tony Stewart for the race lead. know, Michael likes to be very self-deprecating as he looks inside of Stewart for the top spot. Michael lost 55 pounds to get in shape to do this.
It looks great.
He doesn't have a lot of experience racing on dirt. Here he is.
I like that Michael's willing to put it on the inside, put it to a car, side by side, get the body work. We've got great camera angles that can pick up those kinds of cool things. That's one of the great things about the SRX series. We've got so many cameras, so many angles, outside of the driver, inside of the driver, inside the cockpit, drones flying around looking like big birds. You won't miss a thing.
He's going to get the lead here. Michael Waltrip to the lead at Knoxville. For the lead, Tony Stewart outside of Waltrip.
You know, it's not as easy as you would think it'd be to bump and push people out of the way. I mean, trust me, I tried it and I failed miserably. Like, I was not very good at it. I'd take myself out. And because, you know, if you're going, if you had enough momentum to get by him, you just do it or you take another lane. But instead, you're having to overdrive to get to him, and sometimes it puts you out of control to actually get to him.
Yeah. Well, it's certainly something on people's minds as we race on the dirt tonight, halfway through our main event on a Saturday night in Knoxville, Iowa.
Got Tony's pass for the lead here on Waltrip. Waltrip got a little sideways off the corner, probably lost a little bit of momentum, was just enough to open up the door for Tony to get on the outside. And again, that upper lane just allows for a little bit more momentum. When you're pinched down low, it's just, you know, you're asking a lot of the right rear.
Got a spin in turn 4. It's Scott Bloomquist has gone around and brought the yellow flag out in this race.
Haley's on board here. Will maybe give us a glimpse of what happened.
Yeah, look back.
Oh, with Elio. Let's see it from outside the car here. We're going to get another glimpse. Yeah, missed the first tap, but you know, when you're running back there, you want to get going.
So caution out, 33 complete. And Scott Bloomquist trying to work his way back up front after being in the lead of this main event a while ago. So Scott Bloomquist, I mentioned before, making his way back to Top Shelf Racing. There he got spun around by the contact from Castroneves in turn number 4.
There you go, down into turn 3. Yeah. Little love tap.
He didn't love it.
No.
So he's been
Not
on.
to love about that when you're in the car.
No, he's been on pit road and back off again as the SRX crew paid a little bit of attention to his car. Now we have Bill Elliott stopped on the track at the exit of turn number 2. So this caution is going to be extended for just a minute. So Bill Elliott's car is on the pit lane. It was pushed back in by a safety truck again and appeared not to be under power. Remember, it was at Stafford a week ago that the Elliott had trouble with the fuel pressure in his car.
That's right, that's right. He slowed down earlier tonight too, and it went caution, I think, before that they could lap him. So I don't know what's going on. Maybe somebody's got some kind of report down there that we could check in and see.
Yeah, I'll bet Matt's all over it. We'll hear from him as soon as he's got the news for us. But
that's exhaust, or it could be, sometimes it could, it looks like he takes his helmet off, unfortunately.
Oh, man.
Sometimes that kind of sound can be body work, but that could be exhaust, too.
All right, we're coming to the green flag. 32 complete under the green. And it's out, and Tony Stewart gets the big jump on Michael Waltrip. Ernie Francis in the yellow car looks for second place, and he's got it.
Michael, get right on, Ernie.
How about Elio Castroneves?
Castroneves
through to third place. He was on pit road with a right front tire that wasn't turning earlier. They got him fixed up, and he's rolling.
The good thing about these short tracks is you don't need the body work. You know, when you get to the bigger tracks and you're going a lot faster, aerodynamics matter. But that's why we're all at short tracks, because the body work is not so critical.
Waltrip got a nudge and pushed up out of the lane. Here goes Hailie Deegan through. So Michael struggling after the restart. He's back to 5th place.
This was coming out of turn 2 on that restart. I'm sure Mike was frustrated, you know. He's running up there next to Tony, trying to take the lead, hoping for it. All of a sudden he finds himself a few spots back.
Watch this race for second.
And the best thing that you can do is if she can get close enough to him in the middle of the corner
Three to go.
tap
One
him.
second going behind you. She gets to you. She's going to put a fender to you.
Yep. Just give him a little tap right in the middle of the corner. That way it's harder to get the power down off the corner, and then hopefully you can get a little bit of momentum on him, get inside of him, or at least get to his outside right rear, but it's probably going to take a fender.
Slide wide by Francis. Deegan couldn't quite get there.
Got to hit him a little harder.
White flag. We are on the last lap here in Knoxville. Stewart leads this the race for second.
Come on.
Deegan inside of Francis down the backstretch. Gonna clear him, but off turn 4, the checkered flag and a feature win in the SRX Series to Tony Stewart. He wins over Hailie Deegan and Ernie Francis Jr. at Knoxville in SRX race number 2. Pun intended, you could say he smoked him tonight.
Thank you so much, Tony. I appreciate that. You did a great job. Good fun.
That's the voice of Mike Beam, celebrity crew chief for Tony Stewart.
Tony wearing out the right rear now that he can.
Led 43 of the 50 laps in the main event, did Stewart, though it wasn't easy. Remember the challenges from Bloomquist earlier, and then Waltrip in the main event.
Tony Stewart, an 11-time Knoxville Nationals winner. As an owner, what's this mean to score a win here as the driver?
Hell, it's the first time I've been in victory lane at Knoxville. You kidding me? This is where I've watched Donnie Schatz and Steve Kinzer and the greatest of the greats in sprint car racing. So I've never seen one come in backwards like this, but it's this is the place I've always wanted to be for sure. So this is pretty cool.
You won the last IROC race, you won the last championship, so you know the significance of history. What's it mean for you to score a win here in SRX?
Like I said, it's, you know, this is the sprint car capital of the world, and you know, want to thank Spire and Kendra Jacobs and all the Knoxville staff and all the Knoxville fans. They're not used to 10 tops, and if they see 10, they want to see it on top of the cage, not surrounding the cage. So just appreciate the fans and everybody for letting us come here. And like I said, Ray Evernham and George Pine, Sandy, everybody at CBS. The best thing, and it's hard to explain to everybody, but these cars are, we've been to 2 different surfaces in 2 weeks with these cars, and Ray Evernham built one hell of a fun race car to drive, and I think we saw that tonight. It was, this place is challenging, it's tough. Michael Waltrip, I thought if Michael Waltrip beats me, I'm going to have to go to therapy or something for about 3 straight weeks if I get beat by him on dirt. So I knew I had to find something different, but Michael ran a hell of a race, and you know, Ernie Francis, I mean, it's 2 guys that don't have a dirt background, so it was fun to run with those guys and fun to watch. Ernie's probably the most advanced guy that we've got in the series, so it was a hell of a night.
Kids were in his mirror, but the old guy wins here at Knoxville.